Got the submarine glued down to the base yesterday evening, and that's kind of firmly in place now. It won't go anywhere, which is good. So the time now is to create the bow waves around the front of the sub. So what I'm going to be using to do that is the surface water waves from Woodland Scenic. I'm also going to use the green sage water tint because this stuff is so heavily diluted, heavily concentrated, should I say? Sorry, I don't need to use much in this. I mean, when I do the 500 milliliters of realistic water, I would only need 12 drops of this stuff to go into the realistic water to actually tint it to the way that it needs to be. So when I come around to doing the bow waves, etc. on this, I only really need, because I'm only going to be using a small amount of the water waves, I'm only really going to need to kind of like dip a bit on the top of a cocktail stick really and put it into the water waves, and then stir that up. And then hopefully we kind of get the colour that we're looking for from there. I mean, the good thing is with this stuff is you just do it a little bit of time. You can add more, but obviously you can't take away. I've also got myself a little pot of water there as well. What that's for is that when I go to sculpt the waves, I can use the front end of a brush to actually help shape them, and I can also use wooden sticks as well. Now with the Woodland Scenics realistic water kit, you do get two massive lolly sticks in there, but these are from Costa Coffee, these ones, and I think they're going to be a little bit better for me to help build up all of the waves that we need to do. So what I need to do is just get some of this stuff out, put it into this little bowl in one of the corners, then put some of this stuff in there, and then mix that up a little bit, and then get on with shaping the bow waves at the front. It won't look anything spectacular to begin with, to be fair, because it's only just the basis of what we need to do, because following on from that, I'll need to then put the realistic water in there. I'm not going to film this on camera doing this. To be fair, I'm not that brave because it's the first time I've done it, so I'd rather kind of like take my time rather than sort of try and rush it on camera. Once I've kind of got used to it and being able to do it, then you know, if anybody would like a how-to video on that, once I'm confident enough, then that's something that I can look at doing, but until then I'm just going to get on with that, and I will come back to you once we've got the end product done on that side. Now got the water waves sorted out. This is really basically the beginning stage of it. I'm just using this as a mold really for the pour. This stuff does actually need to be built up in the stages. I mean, I actually used too much there, believe it or not, to do what I've done. I did find a couple of times that I came in to check on it after I've done it, and it had actually sagged, so I'd have to build the waves back up again. So I need to go back in and do some more of that, but before I do that, I'm going to get the first lot of deep clear water in there. Main reason being is the fact that I think it's about 13 or 14 millimeters in depth from the base to where it needs to be. So I'm going to need to actually do that in two pours. I don't want to do that in one because it might take a considerable amount of time to set, or it might not set at all. So to my way of thinking, just do it in two goes, and then that way, once I've got the first lot in, I can then come back in and do some more work to the bow waves. Because if we look at this picture here, you can actually see, just use a brush here, you can see there where we've got a bow wave that's formed in front of the ship, and then you've got it sort of breaking over the top there as well. So that's the kind of effect that we're going for. And then we've got all of these little waves that are down the side there and across there, and then if we look, we've got these kind of patterns going up the front here and across the back as well. We have, if I zoom this in, there we go. Let me just, oh, too far. Oh, that'd be fine. So if you can see here, we've kind of got that bow, I don't know, bow shockwave, whatever you want to call it. We got that bit there, so that can be painted with the white water effects, and that'd be fine. And then what we just need to do is build this up some more. I mean, we've got the beginnings of the bow wave in there. What I will do, once I've got the first deep pour in there, I just see where we need to go, because I do believe I'm going to need to mix up some more of the water waves with the sage green. Oh, let's get that in shot. The sage green, to help build up that wave at the top, because we're not going to be able to get that bow wave done just with the deep pour realistic water. So it is going to, I'm going to need to kind of use this stuff to help me sort of do that. So this really it isn't the final stage of it. It's just really the beginning stages of salmon. I've just had to let that dry off before I can do anything else. So with the deep pour water, let me just, there we go. As I say, I need basically 500 milliliters of this, or half a litre if you like, or just slightly under 1 pint. So yeah, we need, as I say, 500 milliliters of this, but I'm not going to do that in one pour, as I say, because I still need to work on the bow wave. So I'm only going to do half of what I need to do. So I'm only going to do, as I say, 250 milliliter pour, and that should hopefully give me enough room, A, to help seal the sub in, and keep it in place properly. I mean, I have got white glue underneath it to help it stay in place, but it's going to be a lot safer once I get the deep pour water in there. But once that's in there, I'll then be able to go back and actually start building up the bow wave at the front there, using the water waves. This stuff, the deep pour water, what I need to do with this is I need to put both the deep pour water and the other component, I can't remember what they call it now, it's not an accelerator, I really can't remember the name of it, it's just gone out of my head, never mind. But there's another part of it that you need to put, activator, that's the word I was looking for. So you've got your deep pour water and then you've got your activator, so you need to do 2/3 of the deep clear water to 1/3 of the activator. So I just need to sort of roughly do the calculation out for that, for 250 milliliters. Once that's been done, I need to then pour it in there, and it's going to be like 24 hours or so before it dries. They do recommend that once you've done it is to actually put tinfoil over the top of it so nothing can actually get to it whilst it's setting. So I'm going to go ahead, get this done, and as soon as it's done and it's in and it's dry, I will come back to you to let you know, well, to let you see what it looks like, and hopefully it might look fairly good with just the first part in it. Well, that's what I'm hoping anyway. I've never done this before, so you know, I'm kind of like learning as I go, so we'll soon find out. So I will come back to you in a little while. Got a little bit more work done to the submarine today, which is a good thing. Not really had a lot of time to spend on this, really, if I'm to be honest with you. I've just been sort of helping my dad, if I'm to be honest, because he's not been very well since February. It started off with a chest infection and whatnot that put him in hospital, and he's got a few other bits and pieces that's gone wrong with him, but you know, I mean, he's 77, so you expect kind of expect your parents to start falling apart when they get to that age. So I've just been sort of like helping him, and doctors and things like that, and well, just make sure, just basically making sure that my dad's not fibbing to the people that are trying to help him, because I know what he's like. He's from that generation that goes, no, I'm all right, there's nothing wrong with me, even if their legs hanging off. So yeah, I've been having to sort of tell him off a little bit and stop him from telling little porcupines. So I haven't really had a lot of time to do the modelling, but yeah, today we started on the bow wave, started making that look, well, got the kind of reasonable crescent shape that we needed at the front end of this, to be fair. So it's not looking too bad. Gonna need to let that dry for 24 hours before I can do anything else with it. I've smoothed it out as much as I can do. I've basically been using these little coffee stirring sticks that were borrowed from McDonald's and also from Costa Coffee. I will return them later, I promise. But it's not looking too bad. So yeah, I mean, you can still see a few marks in it, but by the time we get all the water ripple effects on there, you're not going to notice those anyway, so it doesn't matter. And as I say, this is just the first layer at the front. We've still got a lot more work to do around the front there. Once that's dried, tomorrow I'm going to need to get some more of the clear water in there. Normally takes about 24 hours to dry, I guess. I mean, this obviously has been in there now for, I think, a month or so, maybe a bit longer. But you can tell by that sound that's nice and dry, which is good. So tomorrow I'll just put the rest of the clear water in there that I need, and then hopefully 24 to 48 hours later that'll be rock hard, but I'll leave it for a few days just to make sure. I mean, the weather around at the moment is, it's quite warm around here. I mean, we do have some what look like thunderclouds coming above, so whether we get a thunderstorm or not, who knows. But I don't think that's going to stop it from drying off pretty quick. But as I say, I'm just going to leave it for a little while longer before I do any more work to it. And then once that resin, or once the clear water is actually dried, I'll then be able to go back in and start building up all the waves around the sides of this, and getting some other white caps, or then getting the waves on top. And then once the waves are dealt with and that's all dried, I can then go back in and do all of the white water work to it as well. So we get all the foam and spray and bits and pieces everywhere, and hopefully by the time we're finished, hopefully it'll make it look as though it's motoring. But yeah, we're fine now. But yeah, not too bad at the moment. Quite happy with the progress. So as soon as I've got some more work done to this wee beastie, I will come back to you.